I'm queued up.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Belonging Songs. It's your weekly podcast that brings you a brand new original song each week, then talks about the theme of that song and the processes that went into writing and recording it. I am your host, Wade Dana. With me in the studio today is Brad Maurer.
Hey.
And via Zoom, Patrick Crane.
I want to be in the studio today.
You guys are getting pretty good at mocking me during the intro.
We've been working on it behind the scenes.
Yeah.
2 to 5 hours a day.
Yep.
Cool.
I couldn't do the intro, but I could definitely lip sync it.
Yeah. Don't you dare ask me to do it.
Yeah,
It's a lot easier to make fun of you.
Who's going to be doing it in season 2?
Whoever's sitting here. Because I'm out.
All right. New episode, new week. This is a song by me. Tentatively called Finale. I'm not sure on that yet. I was up late last night working on this. It's not finished because we've been under the gun lately with our recording schedule, trying to bust songs out. It's not easy to get a song a week
heard about it.
out. I was working on it just to get it to a point to where I could bring it to the show. So this is like drums, bass, guitar, vocals. There's no
It's jotted down, ready to roll.
yeah, I don't have a lot of the
So
extra
you wrote a White
instrumentation.
Stripes song.
No, it's definitely not.
Do you have a conceptual place for it to go already in your mind?
Yeah, I think when you hear it, you'll know where it's going. And I don't know if you guys are going to like this. So
That's good. I like where
I'm glad we're in your head now.
yeah, I like where that starts.
I don't know if I would like it if I hadn't
Okay.
written it.
All right.
But I do actually really like where it's going or how it's progressed thus far. It is quite a bit different. I think you're going to be taken aback maybe at first,
Yeah,
but
because
have
it's
an
written
open
about
mind.
how good the world is and a positive outlook
This
on life.
is like one of the most straightforward songs, maybe arrangement-wise, I've done in a while. So yeah, we'll see.
Brad, we might be able to wrap our small little brains around this one, is what he's saying.
God bless it.
Yeah,
He's
I
come
tried-
down to our level. Is
tried
it
to
in
make it
4/4,
accessible for you.
120?
yeah, no, I don't remember what the tempo was. I don't
Because
think
that's
so.
the language I speak.
That reminds me of something that I wanted. Different episode. Never mind. Cut this out.
He won't, and he'll get yelled at for it, but he'll say he's gonna.
Yeah. We had a little feedback that we need to get to the point more. And BSers, if you have any feedback, please leave it for us in the form of a review. If you listen to an Apple podcast, a 5-star review would be great. It is what's the date? August 16th. We haven't had a review since
August
May
15th.
25th.
May
That ain't bad.
25th.
Yeah, that's like,
That's like several pandemics ago.
right? I know.
So if you don't like what you're hearing, tell us. We gotta know.
Please consider jumping on and leaving us some reviews.
What if everyone out there is dead and we're the lone survivors, and that's why we're not getting reviews?
That's the obviously logical point. Like the whole place.
Yeah.
It's definitely what's happened. Is
We
what
need
I'm
to
trying
figure
say.
out something better to do with our time than write these silly songs.
No, because we're probably gonna
Wait,
be.
we're the biggest band in the world.
Well, yeah, exactly what I'm saying. We're gonna be like Rodriguez. Everything's gonna come back, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, this fucking podcast happened. These guys are great." It will be in Croatia, like Hasselhoffen.
We're just over here. We didn't
Yeah,
know
we're
anything was-
just down here, aw shucks in it.
right.
But we're huge. We're gonna be huge,
So if you're listening in Estonia, thanks for listening.
right?
All right, you guys want to listen to this song? Like I said,
do.
I do.
You've hyped it up enough.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty nervous about this one.
Disclaimers abound.
All right.
Yeah.
Why are you nervous? Because you already know it's going to be good, and that if
we'll
Brad
see.
and I say anything, you're going to be like, yeah, fuck you. It's
Right,
done.
yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Yeah. Why does he get nervous? That's a good point.
That is a good point. We need to explore that in a future episode. Anyway, I'm excited to hear it.
Anytime
Let's
I
listen
do
to this
something
thing.
different, I get a little nervous.
Yeah, but
But you're good at it.
it's a thing.
All right.
Drag it over. Let's go.
Let's give it a listen.
Yeah. Let's do it.
One day I'll only be some other person's memories to forget. Yeah. Do you think I'll be remembered? Oh, you think I'm great? That's great.
I didn't think I was august enough for you to let me be your friend. But when you decided to stick it out, I knew it was worth that we began. We planned our days and set aside some time to escape. Yeah. And all these dreams led to adventure, and they turned out great. Yeah, great. Yeah. At first I didn't think I was august enough for you to let me be your friend. But when you decided to stick it out, I knew it was worth that we'd begin. I know we lost sometimes, and others were fine. Now that it's over, it hurts to say goodbye. Now it's over, goodbye. I guess it's good that we endeavor to try the best we can. But did you think it'd last forever? Ah, you silly, 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 silly man. Oh man, I'm gonna stay till it's over, then we'll go our separate ways. I'm sure I'll think back when I'm older and wish for these feelings again. Does it have to be over? Over. Just because this time's done doesn't mean it's lost. Memories will replay and new ones will spring up. But does this have to be over? Over. At first I didn't think I was august enough for you to let me be your friend. But when you decided to stick it out, I knew it was worth that we'd begin. I know we lost sometimes, and others were fine. Now that it's over, it hurts to say goodbye. Now it's over, goodbye. Now it's over, goodbye.
I love laughing because those drums lingered.
Okay, Brad, why don't you start us out?
That last little tom is awesome.
You like
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah, let me dance through this. For starters, you're always nervous thinking you're going to sound completely different. Sounds like you.
Does it?
Yeah,
Okay.
love it. I really like this song where it's rooted right now.
Mm-hmm.
First verse, chorus verse, you're getting us to a place, and it establishes really well. I like that. I really picked up the electric drum fills and stuff
Yeah.
on the next part, like that all these dreams led to adventure part.
Yeah,
Is where
that's
I really
they come in.
Yeah,
I think,
and I
for the
love
first
them.
time.
Like I fucking, it's hilarious because yesterday I was sitting there going through the kits, and I'm like, I really want to use one of these kits on a song, and I don't know where it applies. And then you did it today, and it's awesome. The chorus is phenomenal. Like, it's my favorite part. It's probably my second favorite part. I'll get to my favorite part, but I think that's the part that I could see getting in my head.
Mm-hmm.
The only critique I have on it is I want a little more attitude when you sing it.
Okay, I
You
tried
know,
to save
like-
that for the end.
Yeah.
Because I wanted it to be kind of subdued, but
Yeah, I like how at first I didn't think I was august enough. I like the way you sing enough and friend for you to let me be your friend.
and I like going
you
like
know.
this when I sing, for you to let me be,
Be your friend.
I'm
I
pointing
like
with
the,
my fingers.
I like the down, like of friend.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I
me
could just
too.
see myself like walking. First, I didn't think I was august enough. You know, like
Okay.
fuck you. You know, and then it keeps going. The alt chorus is good. The now it's over part I like. Verse 3, I think we want to escalate that a little bit more. I could see that starting to get big there.
Yeah, like I said,
Later
I haven't
on,
done
it's
any
raw. It's
background
raw,
vocals
yeah,
or anything, and
that's-
you can see what
It's
they're
not
going
a
to be
critique.
like.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, like, if I was writing this song,
Okay.
this is probably the place I
Yeah.
would take it.
Yeah, I agree.
The bridge, I always struggle with your bridges because I'll end up liking them later. So I really didn't write anything. I'll leave Patrick to comment on that.
No, this is actually one song where I really liked the bridge as it is.
Yeah.
Like, I
You
wouldn't
guys,
mess with
you
that
guys
too
do
much.
always have.
We struggle. I
Troubles with
struggle
my
with bridges.
bridges.
I struggle with
You don't
bridges.
put them in your songs.
Because I struggle with just
And I like
getting-
them.
Yeah, and I you know, because I'm really groove based, and so like I was in a groove the whole time, and then you took it completely elsewhere, which is what a bridge does, and I struggle with that. That's a personal problem, so I didn't comment because it's probably perfect. I just don't know.
I really liked it.
Does it have to be over?
I'll dissent.
That's the line.
You
the
like
way,
that?
the way you sing that line is awesome for me. This
I've got that circled.
yeah, I put asterisk. I actually have 3 exclamation marks and an asterisk and a yes.
You got
spot.
exclamation marks?
Dude.
Yeah, they're putting in one down the
Why,
street.
why,
here.
why wouldn't you go to exclamation park?
Sounds fun.
So anyway, that's the
How
name
many
of,
tickets to do the water slide?
I don't know,
You have a wristband? Let me see your wristband.
but that's definitely the name of my next song. Exclamation park.
Those bridge, I was wrestling with that yesterday. So I had all the other lyrics written and recorded, and I couldn't think of something for the bridge, and I racked my brain on that for a few hours.
For the
yesterday,
just
and
because this time's done.
the
that
whole
part of
the whole bridge.
Yeah.
I wrote
So-
and recorded yesterday.
So like that part, I'm not in love with that part. I think that needs a little bit more. I always struggle when guys are singing and they take a couple of like you separate words, differently, like and then there's space and play. That's another personal problem I struggle with when I hear it. But I just think like that part maybe just needs a little bit more work. Then you go back into, my favorite part. And then the chorus, alt chorus are great. And I actually think I hear in the end is like you have the now it's over, goodbye, and you repeat that twice. I think I would like you to come in with but does this have to be over and fade it out singing that part. I don't know.
it doesn't really fit. in
I
that
think it
part,
does.
though.
But
I can try it.
Patrick
Fight,
can
fight.
explain.
Fight. Fight. Yeah, Wade, what do you think the first 2 things I'm going to say about this song are?
I don't know.
What do
didn't
I
know
love?
I didn't know what you guys. I didn't know if you would like the falsetto.
There it is. Love the falsetto. Written down. Number 1. The other thing that I love about how this song is laid out, when you come out of the falsetto, the guitar tone and your vocals both it's like a pitch shift. Just totally smooths out, shifts down, and it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Don't lose that with whatever you do to it. That should be the emotional focus between the 2 voices in the song. It's really, really effective. And it kind of made me tingle a little bit when you do go from that really, I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like a pop falsetto, and then it goes into almost this more serious intonation. And I like the juxtaposition of those 2 voices within the song. I think that works really well. It reminds me of we had this great thing going, and now it's over, and we both know it's over. And I just think that works really well. I think with Brad, I think lyrically this song is really, really strong. And I love how you sing it. It's also it is a lot of your writing style, but I also think it shows a different side of you. It's almost restrained, because I was expecting it to escalate in a couple spots where you typically tend to either move into a distorted guitar, a little more powerful vocals, and it doesn't do that. And it could be just because I'm so used to listening to your music that it almost caught me off guard in a really pleasant, uncomfortable way, because the song kept me guessing of where it was going to go. And I liked that a lot. So that's a bunch of probably nonsense to people who don't listen to the music on this show frequently, but it really appealed to me for some reason, just how restrained this song is.
So I did put distorted guitars in the bridge, but as I kept working on it, I kept bringing them down and down and down in the mix. And I like that.
I kept waiting for that big part. You know, Wade likes to throw a left hook surprise.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I didn't get it, and I like that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
My brain kept on predicting where it was going to start, and it never happened.
Yep. And I like, too, like you mentioned lyrically a little bit. I read them beforehand, and like, it's a sad song. You know, like it's really sad. It really, I think when you apply that to the music, it makes it feel a little bit less sad, but it makes you feel like appreciative more than remorse, like sad.
That's actually exactly the emotion I got.
Yeah.
It was I appreciated we had this time.
Yeah.
It made me a better person for it, but I recognize now that it's got to go. I've got to, you've got to release the bird back into the wild.
When I was reading them, I was a lot more sad than that than when I listened to the song, which I like that.
That's perfect, because once I get into telling you what this is about or why I wrote it, it's very clear what the song is about.
Yeah.
Like,
is it about letting Brad and I go from the podcast?
It's definitely over. And now it's over.
No, but I want it. I'm glad that I hit the mark where you're getting that like appreciation, and it's like a bittersweet. I wanted it to be that.
And lyrically on its own, like I said, I didn't necessarily. I got it, but it might be me projecting how I write songs.
And you guys are gonna be really let down once I get into the reasons I wrote this.
Is it about a LaCroix flavor?
No, it's not far off.
Is it about when you picked up lime instead of key lime?
Right.
Does anybody, Patrick, you're gonna say something there before I jump into?
Yeah, so even knowing that this is still in really rough demo form, I think the drums at the beginning are a bit too busy for the song. I think they do need to pick up, and I love is that a phased tom? There's some
It's like
effect
it's like that electric tom.
Yeah,
sound.
electric.
Yeah, I love the sound of that, but I think they need to build.
Yeah,
instead
those
of
are just
coming,
like set default right now.
Yeah, because there's like a double bass, double kick drum like at the beginning, I think, and it threw me off a bit. That's literally all I have for critique.
I'm excited to hear where it goes, because
this is going to be amazing.
It's going to be really cool.
Yeah,
cool. I'm glad you guys like it. Yeah.
So, which LaCroix flavor did they recently discontinue that this is about?
You listen to the song, you guys already hit the nail on the head exactly what it's about. Like having something, and I tried to write it to where it was very broad. Everybody can relate to it. But the inspiration for writing this, I tore a page straight out of Brad Maurer's handbook for writing songs.
Which true crime show were you watching?
And this is about one of my favorite TV shows ending.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. That's that's the spark you needed.
No one would ever get that, and I don't want that to be the intent of the song.
That is a Brad Maurer move.
That is a move.
But that's what helped me write it. And I tried to write most of the song, except for the bridge, from the viewpoint of the show.
Right.
So at first I didn't think I was august enough, and august means respected or impressive, important. I didn't like this show at first, but then I kept with it and ended up really loving it. And the show is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is just a superhero show, but I ended up loving it. It was like one of my favorite shows. Love all the characters and everything. And it just ended this past week.
Did it end well?
It did. Yeah, I wasn't crying. You were crying.
I love that, because on a more general level, like the reason I do it is I live a pretty simple, boring life, and there's not enough drama in it to me to be able to write a bunch of shit about me all the time. But there's plenty of things that I do and that make me feel something. And so like that's all music is taking that inspiration and turning it into something else.
Yeah.
You're the same way. So like the fact that you could write a really cool song about something that could be so like deeply meaningful for somebody else about a TV show, and it comes across like this is incredible. Like that's a really cool proof of the art.
Well, thanks. And like I said, you were the inspiration for me having that idea, because I was really racking my brain about like, what am I going to write my next song
That's
about?
what you always
get
do.
into these.
Yeah, I mean,
like, we're doing this podcast. We've got to get music done.
Like I literally,
and it's not easy.
I will literally Google like the news or something. If I'm sitting there and I like have a song going and I don't know what to write about, I'll Google the news and I'll just read around for a little while until something like sparks a thought.
And you know,
and then you're like, okay.
When I
here we
Google
go.
the news, I get Huey Lewis updates.
Yeah, absolutely. How are the boys? The news. How are the? Nobody talks about the news. There's a guy out there walking around right now. He's like, I'm the fucking leader of the news. Everybody wants to talk about
You know what kills me about
I'm Joey News.
studio or touring bands like the News is, no one ever talks about them except for the rare documentary. Those guys are some of the most incredible musicians,
That's right.
and they're on the road playing Hip to Be Square.
I think this is a badass start to a song. No reason to be nervous.
I want to hear this bad boy finish
Yeah.
up. I'm excited
Yeah.
about this.
awesome. Yeah, like I was really pushing to get this just to this point so we could start an episode on it because we're kind of under the gun.
Yeah,
But
Patrick and I are going to go grab some lunch. Why don't you go ahead and just wrap it up real quick?
Yeah.
but I do like
wanna
where
go
it
to-
landed.
Want to go to Tubby's?
Yeah, we're going to go grab some sandwiches and go to Exclamation Park.
All right,
Where we'll,
you guys.
we'll feed the bread to the ducks.
I say
Let's get to the time machine.
let's get technical first.
Oh, let's get to the technical machine.
Yeah. So, Brad, when you got here this morning, we were talking a little bit about sample rate and bit rate,
We were.
which are things in the recording world that we're going to dive into a little bit here. So, I did an experiment on this song and wanted to hear like what it would sound like just to max out my computer. So, I recorded this at the highest sample rate and highest bit rate I could just to see what the difference was. And I think it sounds great, but it took up like twice as much space. So
What
I don't
was
think
there
I'll
a
do that
noticeable
again.
difference?
Uh,
I've done that a few times before with like MP3 sampling and then going to, true
So
one-to-one
for
sampling.
BSers, like a sample rate in the digital world is how many like snapshots basically the computer will digitally take of a waveform to recreate it.
Think of
So,
it as
like-
like a frame in a movie.
Yeah, so the higher sample rate you go, the higher accuracy you'll get.
So which one's like stop motion?
Like one.
16 or 32? Like so 16 is closer to like stop motion.
No,
Yeah.
a flip book. Stop
Yeah.
motion would be one. One
Okay.
sample, one picture.
And then it changes to another complete picture.
Yeah, and like a higher sample rate. Think of like when you take the picture on your iPhone, you hold it down, and it does the.
Okay. Okay.
So you're getting.
Because I am like one of those BSers where I don't understand technical stuff.
So
now I'm
the
with
like
you.
industry standard is 16 bits, 44.1 kilohertz sampling rate, and it's that way because compact discs are formatted for that sample rate and bit rate. So that's why the industry defaulted to that for digital distribution, because CDs were the main form and mode of distribution. So all audio files that were recorded in the digital world had to get mastered and bounced down to that ending sample rate for distribution. Now it really doesn't matter, but it's just this set thing.
But file size probably
File
matters.
size does matter.
Stream,
And hardware.
right? So stream
Yeah,
needs a smaller file for better fluidity.
sometimes.
Yeah.
For ease of transfer, but as
Yeah.
far as audio quality, typically a higher sample
Higher,
rate and
yeah.
bit rate.
That was Neil Young's whole MP3 player thing. Is he was trying to do like all lossless streaming.
Yeah.
So he was trying to do a high bit rate with all of
Yeah,
his
yeah.
shit. Okay.
And there's plenty of debate on whether or not it
It
matters
matters,
because you are ultimately like scaling it back down to the 44.1 16. Like when we release all of our songs, they get released at that sample rate and bit rate, and you have to use a dither plugin, which is a whole nother thing that adds
I've typically
harmonic
been of the
distortion.
opinion where just make the shit as good as people are going to listen, as
Right.
good as the shit people are listening to it on. 9 times out of 10, they're walking around with
With little
earbuds.
earbuds, yeah.
you know,
So-
so like you don't need this fucking phenomenal.
You really don't.
You know, you need a $500 pair of headphones for you to notice. That's like 18 people that we know.
Yep.
You know?
So this was an experiment I just wanted to try, and most of my plugins won't even work in the session because it's too high of a
too
sample
high,
rate.
yeah.
So I'm going to be scaling it all down when I go to mix it and dump it into a different session.
It's a good
So
experiment, though.
Just an experiment, yeah, that I figured we'd touch on. I recorded the guitars and bass through my Ampeg Gemini for this song, which I don't usually use, and I
They
just
sound pretty cool in it.
That's
Yeah.
that's the by the way, that's the first amp I ever played electric guitar through. My My Uncle Bob had one of those.
Oh, really?
Geminis, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's pretty sweet. It's a cool amp. You can kind of tell that it's not the standard.
It's got a
pig
vintage
nose,
sound to it.
It has a built-in tremolo too, right?
It does.
Yeah, and that's super cool because you can just sing Crimson and Clover through it.
Did you play it through your Fender lead? Because those kind of amps, I always like to play like a single coil guitar through because they're
I did.
they're low tone by default. Yeah, I like that.
You
It
can tell because it's sitting right here.
That's what that led me to the thought, but I could kind of hear it a little bit.
And you get that vintage sound with that part that I commented on that I really like after the falsetto. The tone on your guitar there is it's just silky.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think that's part of that amp.
And I also did something different on this song with the bass in that I didn't use a pick. Usually I'll use a pick when I'm playing bass just to get it to cut through, but I did everything with just finger bass.
Yeah, I can't use a pick with a bass for some reason.
And I did a direct signal and also through the Gemini for that. So, and then blended those together. And another
How much
thing,
slap bass was in here
zero
before?
slap bass.
Well, let's fix that.
Yeah.
And
How are you
there
going to get
is-
funky without a slap bass?
There is a guitar, like a distorted guitar lead going on in that bridge, and I used my Satori Sonics Ultra Super Annihilator on, which I don't use that often for recording.
I don't know what you just said, but it sounds like it's going to destroy the Death Star.
That is a
It's
pedal,
sweet. Yeah,
right?
it's a sweet distortion pedal.
Yeah.
So those are all the technical notes I had. There's two drum kits, as you alluded to. There's the normal one, and then that electronic kit that's doing all those funky
That's cool.
fills.
Like I said, there must be something in the air because the other day I was like, I really want to figure out how to fucking do that, and then you did it, so now I can't.
Oh, so that's that.
That's
I
cool.
think moving forward on this one, I think I'll probably flush out the arrangement and mix it. So next time we come back, it'll be a finished track that we can listen to.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited for that day.
Cool.
It'll be tomorrow night, Brad. We're going to
But
get a
yeah.
call.
So-
Be ready to go.
So shout out to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for
Boom.
inspiration for writing this song.
Doesn't
You
take
talk
much
this
sometimes.
show. You talk this show up. I need to give it another chance
Look at what
because
you
I gave
got
up
here.
on it.
Though, like, I mean, just look at the lyrics. There's a whole 2 columns on a page that all came out of just the fact that a TV show was going away. That's pretty awesome.
With an alt chorus.
With an alt chorus.
Yeah.
It would take a hell of a TV show for me to write an alt chorus. I'll tell you that.
I also
right now.
like the listeners probably can't see this. We might have to put it up on social media, but the little flair of doing the underline spaced out then.
Oh, did you like
finale.
that?
I like that.
What do you think about that title for this song?
I guess it makes more sense.
It makes more sense now, yeah.
Okay.
So I guess it depends if you want to keep that like.
I certainly would have preferred not to say all that. Like that's why I wrote it. But
that's
I mean,
kind of
what we do
kind of what
here.
we're
Yeah.
doing
But
on the
it-
show here.
But I don't ever want somebody to listen to it and be like, "Oh yeah, this is about season 7 of this." No, it's not about that.
Right, yeah, that was the
just the
inspiration.
impetus and the
Yes.
jumping off point
You're gonna
for me to write
you're gonna
the
have to
song.
show up at Comic-Con every year to talk about
Now,
the song.
if I can get this song into the hands of all the cast and crew somehow, and then that
think-
would be cool.
I think the title's good because it implies what it's about, and it's very clearly about something that is ending.
Yeah, I thought
You
the
know,
only
so
other like
it's-
applicable title would be "Over." but
Yeah,
that's not
no,
as good
and
of a
that's
title.
what I was looking at for like a lyric in here that I mean, what are you gonna do now? It's over.
But BSers,
you
this
know,
is
or-
not the season finale.
Does it have to
This
be
is
over?
just a song called Finale.
Yeah, we kind of jumped the gun on this, didn't we? But I think
Maybe we'll hold on. to
I
it.
like the title, but it's your
Okay.
song, so you do whatever you want.
Cool. All right, well, let's jump into the time machine, and when we come back, we will listen to the finished version of this, hopefully.
Boom.
Set course.
To the future!
All right, welcome back. BSers in the future, in the Zoom future.
Holy hell.
That's right, we're in the virtual world. We're all a little tired tonight. I'm having troubles talking. Brad was having troubles cooking. Patrick is drinking coffee. It's like 9:30 at night.
Man
He's
should be
super
drinking whiskey.
tired. Brad was late, so I had already poured a drink. What was I going to do? Just let it sit there? So I'm half in. It's going to be a mess, but welcome back.
I did have a waiting margarita
He's got a whole carafe of coffee there.
Oh, yeah. French press, baby.
So we are going to listen to my mix of my song Finale. When we listened to it last, I kind of had the bones down. So drums, bass, guitar, and vocals. As far as I got, I was fighting just to get it to a point to play it for you guys because we were recording. And I have since added quite a bit to this. And I finished it yesterday. And I've been really excited to play it for you guys and see what you think.
Did you add all that mellophone I told you to?
A mellophone? Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't a ton of suggestions from you guys. It was more like, take it where you're going to take it, because I wasn't done. I had a good idea of what I wanted to do with it. So, yeah. You guys want to listen to it? I'm excited.
I'll listen to it.
Excited to hear what you have to say. And I'm excited because I really like how it turned out. So.
Oh, that's never good when you set yourself up like that, Wade.
Well, it's not, because when we started this episode, I was a little nervous because I wasn't sure if you'd like it, and then you really liked it. So now that I'm excited that I really like it, you guys are probably going to hate it. So.
Yeah, you know what that is, Brad? That's a dog whistle for, I don't care what you guys think. It's done.
Yeah, that's it. It's done. Wade preempt.
Yeah.
I think it is, but obviously always...
I mean, Patrick and I are already going to like it less because we know it's about TV now.
Shit.
Right.
So,
yeah, I was working on it, and Shanna came down. She's like, "Oh, is this the TV song?" I'm like, "It's not about that." Damn it! I wish I wouldn't have said that.
All right, let's listen to this thing.
But yeah, it's the TV song. So.
I'm amped.
All right, here we go.
Amped.
One day I'll only be some other person's memories to forget. Yeah.
Do you think I'll be remembered? Oh, you think I'm great? That's great. Yeah.
At first I didn't think I was august enough for you to let me be your friend. But when you decided to stick it out, I knew it was worth that we began. We planned our day and set aside some time to escape. Yeah. And all these dreams led to adventure. And it turned out great, yeah, great. Yeah. At first I didn't think I was august enough for you to let me be your friend. But when you decided to stick it out, I knew it was worth that we began. I know we lost sometimes, and others were fine. Now that it's over, it hurts to say goodbye. Now it's over, goodbye.
I guess it's good that we endeavor to try the best we can. But did you think it'd last forever? Oh, you silly, 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 silly man. Oh man.
I'm gonna stay till it's over, then we'll go our separate ways. I'm sure I'll think back when I'm older and wish for these feelings again.
doesn't have to be over. Just because this time's done doesn't mean it's lost. Memories will replay and new ones will spring up. But does this have to be over? At first I didn't think I was august enough for you to let me be your friend. But when you decided to stick it out, I knew it was worth that we began. I know we lost sometimes, and others were fine. Now that it's over, it hurts to say goodbye. Now it's over, goodbye. Now it's over, goodbye.
Was that a fart?
Wait, what do you think?
I think it's a little. I don't. Tell me what you guys think, please.
Brad, lead us out.
I love it. I like the ambient stuff that you did with it, like a video gamey kind of. It's almost like I'm inside an arcade game.
Yeah, I added some
Which is pretty
synth
cool.
tracks. Those are the arpeggiated tracks you're talking about during the chorus. Yeah,
Yep.
there's like 3 different tracks going on there. And then I added a new synth during the bridge and the outro of the song.
Well, I mean, like the stuff behind the verse too, like the
Oh, yeah, yeah.
swelly,
Yeah.
like those swelly kind of things. I really like those
Yeah,
throughout
so
that whole thing.
okay, cool. I knew that sound, I wanted that sound, but I didn't know how to make it. So I went searching on the internet and found some samples from this free sound library of somebody playing these notes, and then I chopped them up and did stuff to them. But I was like, that's what I want. I spent like an hour searching through patches of virtual instruments, like looking for the
Trying to
sounds I
find
wanted. I was
that
like, I can't
tone.
find it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that worked out really well, I thought.
Yeah, I really like those. I love those boomy electric drums. Or,
Mhm.
or like, did you do anything to those, or am I just hearing them a little bit different than last time?
I just panned them all out and adjusted the levels. I really didn't do any processing on them.
Yeah, I really like. Maybe they're a little louder or something than last time too.
They
I
might be.
really like those. Yeah, I really like those. But
You don't
yeah,
think
I mean
they're too
overall,
loud?
like, no,
Okay.
no. I think like where everything is and how it plays out with itself from the beginning to the end is, it takes the song from more of like a regular song, which is the way you brought it the first time, I guess, for lack of a better term, into more of like an ambient sort of experience of a song,
Right.
which is really cool. I like where it ended up being, where at first I thought it was going to kind of go more toward the regular.
Oh, this is
kind of-
interesting. Yeah. So where did you guys see this going compared to what I did? Now, Brad, you're just speaking to that right now, but
Yeah. I mean, that's I thought it was going to be a lot more just traditional instruments,
Okay.
and maybe get a little bit thicker on the guitar side and have a kind of a cool, busy walking bass line and stuff like that is kind of where I thought it was going. And this is a completely different direction, and I kind of like it a lot.
He weighted it up. That's what he did. He took
He weighted it up.
straightforward song and weighted it up. I totally
He put
agree.
he put his waders on. Dave Jones.
I had the same note though, Brad. This song, as I talked about in the first half of the show, I love the electronic toms on this. I think it's really fun, and it's interesting when I listen to it because it does start as a straightforward pop song, which isn't very Wade, but then those drums come in and it almost juxtaposes against the song, but not in a way that clashes. I don't know. It's really orchestral as far as how the things play together. And it's almost like they're doing their own parts, but it's harmonious. So I really like that about the song, especially in a song like this that's uplifting and maybe not lyrically uplifting, but it just
bittersweet.
Yeah, it just triggers something in my head. It lights something up that I really like. I made a note at somewhere around 213 or 212. Those toms modulate, and then you have a modulated guitar riff, and it just layers so well. It's this perfect transition to kind of part two of the song, and I really liked that also. I actually had to mess around with my audio settings when I was listening to this because my preamp wasn't loud enough, and I wanted to jam more of this into my ears. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool point, though, that you made about how it's almost like two songs playing at the same time. Like you have like that cool ambient noise and like those kind of electric drums, and then you have like the regular guitars and the regular drums.
Which is really muted and toned down, actually.
Yeah, but you played them it's kind of like you play them at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like they're playing the same thing through different things, and it's kind of just a really cool, like to use the same term, like the juxtaposition of it. It's like this really clean and this really odd sort of blend. I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty normal.
Yeah, you do probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a standard Wade deal.
This is where Brad and I just say words, and then Wade's like, "No, you don't."
Yeah. The like the bridge part or the tail end where it changes, like song B, I guess you could call it, in this song.
The bridge.
Yeah, have you seen the bridge? It took me a minute longer to get into it last time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that you even did much to it. You did some stuff to it.
There's a whole new synth going on through that.
Yeah, I picked that up.
And I did some...
did you do more vocal stuff?
There's a lot more vocals throughout the whole song. I did, because there weren't any background vocals the first time I brought it, and you guys listened to it. So all the background vocals are new, and there's a lot of them. So yeah, during the bridge there are, and then I also put some effects on the guitar track. So it's doing weird stuff, sparkly stuff, and some delays here and there on vocals. So yeah, I did a lot of work in the mix on this, for sure.
I like how you come out of that bridge too. It's a really cohesive song.
Yeah, it is. It took me, like I was saying, it took me a while to get into it before, but I seem to get right into it. And then once you roll around to the second half of it, I'm like really into it. You know, I like that part a lot. And then it does come back, and when you come back, you sing basically the beginning at the end just a little differently. Yeah, and I really like that.
The chorus takes you out of the song, basically. Yeah.
Yep.
So those ambient, sparkly swells that you alluded to earlier, Brad, I had more of them throughout the arrangement to the point where there was too many.
You could get nuts with those.
I did. I started out by just putting them everywhere that I thought they could go, and then kept listening to the song. And each pass, I would take a couple out. And there was originally one going into that bridge, but I like, if you listen to the electronic drums, they do this like little thing where it's like, it just kind of slows way down.
Off.
And I brought that part up because it almost takes you in its hands and gently sets you into that bridge. Where before I had that swell and it was like, oh, whoa, we're doing something. And it was harder to get into it.
I like how familiar the song sounds until it doesn't. And I know that's a bunch of hyperbole that's probably meaningless, but, you know, to just kind of repeat... Hyperboles. To repeat what I was saying earlier, you know, you go into the song, you're like, oh yeah, I know exactly where this is going. And then it's got these little surprises along the way, and it's not just one surprise. It's every measure, something's in there.
I think that's funny, because when I was talking to you guys before and like, oh, I got an idea where this wants to go, you can kind of hear where it wants to go. I just assumed we were on the same page, but we weren't.
I'm glad we weren't, because it's like watching a familiar TV show or listening to a familiar song where you listen to it a little more carefully and you're picking up something new every measure, and it keeps you keeps you interested, but it also makes you think really technically about the music when you're listening to it.
And those arpeggiated synth parts, if we want to get technical a little bit.
Technically, arpeggiated notes are not really arpeggios.
Okay.
I
Please
just
explain.
I just watched some music theorists break that down, and it has to do with playing the notes in a chord versus playing the third, fifth, and seventh. And that's about as much as I can talk about without sounding like total bullshit.
So the rest are just arpeggiaroos.
Yeah, there are arpeggiaroos.
Right.
We'll have to get clarification on that because I'm not
Yeah,
sure either.
Yeah.
If you're a music theorist, please call in because I've always called them
They don't listen to
arpeggiated.
this. Drivel.
No, this is rock music.
Yeah.
But those
Anyway,
arpeggiated synths are a mistake. They're not a mistake, but it's not what I originally tried to do. It's funny because I worked on this song to try and get it finished before, and it all went really well. Like a couple days, I had it all done. I was coming down here, and it was flowing really smoothly. We recorded the episode. I was fired up about it. A couple days went by. I had to like do some more editing on other episodes and was busy doing other things. And then a few days later, I came down. I'm like, all right, I'm going to work on this song. I know where it's going. Next day, everything I tried just sucked. And I was stuck on it for a few days. And during the chorus, I had like an organ going on during that. And it just sounded stupid. It didn't fit the vibe of the song. And that arpeggio synth was one of the last things I put in. I was mixing the song. I was like, man, I really still want something here. And I had hidden the MIDI track from the organ I was playing before. I was like, oh, I'm going to turn that on now that the mix is coming together more and just play it again, see what it sounds like. And the organ still sounded terrible. But then I started playing around with patches in a software synth and
It's a good Clarence Carter song.
and stumbled onto the arpeggios, and I went through a menu of probably 100 of them because the first one I was like, oh, this is something. I like what's happening. It was a totally wrong sound for the song and a wrong like progression, but I knew like I had stumbled onto something that was going to work if I could just find the right one. So I listened to like 100 different patches. I was writing down ones that I liked, and then I stumbled on those few that ended up working really well. And I got to use the old MIDI from my organ track that didn't fit for those.
My papa was a great old man. That's all I got. Anyway.
I think it's really cool how you were able to like subtract so well
Yeah.
from the song. It's hard to take out it's hard for me, I should say, to take out what I put in,
Mm-hmm.
because when I hear it before I put it in, and I think it needs to be there because I heard it,
Yeah.
and so like for you to get nuts on like those weird little parts and then pull them back as much as you did to where they're so simple
Mm-hmm.
it's really cool, and it says a lot about the restraint you have and like the
Yeah, there were a lot more of them.
It is.
yeah, I mean, that's a big deal though, because you don't want to do that all the time.
It's
Right.
the hardest thing is to edit down and and make things
So I'm
better
glad
for the
that you
sake of
guys
brevity.
think it's an appropriate amount.
Yeah.
There's the one coming out of the bridge that I still was like, I don't know, but I think I like it.
That's the one I liked.
Okay,
I said I
cool.
liked
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I think that one belongs there. I wouldn't want
Don't
I wouldn't
you dare.
want the one going into the bridge like you said you had.
It wasn't working.
Don't you dare fuck with that.
It's it's not a big bridge,
Right.
like it's bigger, but it's
Yeah.
not huge. So it doesn't need to be swept into like that.
Mhm.
It's no
So I think-
Mackinac.
No, hell no. No, this is some sort of county bridge.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Going over a creek.
Yeah, it's a creek bridge.
So you guys think this is done?
I think you got it. I
Yeah.
like it.
Good, because this is going to be our next episode.
That makes things easy.
Well, thank God we fit that into the round hole.
Yeah.
That's why I've been trying to record this.
Wade's been rehearsing just to get us to acquiesce.
Yeah. I was flipping through my notes while we were listening to that, and for some reason, you guys will probably remember why, but I don't. I have written down Burgers on the Rocks. I don't know why that is.
Oh, that was like your Jimmy Buffett song, I think.
Was that what it is?
Yeah.
I should totally gaslight you and just be like, I don't remember talking about that, Brad.
Right, yeah. It's like, why did I write down Burgers on the Rocks?
It is the ultimate yacht rock song.
There it is.
That's why we take notes.
Oh, man.
All right. Oh, so this song is called Finale, but it's not the season finale. I've already said that in this episode, but it gives us a good opportunity to talk about our season finale. Because BSers, it's coming up. And as much as we would love to keep this podcast going year-round without a break,
you guys need a break.
Well, it's just not to a point where we can sustain it that way yet. Hopefully in the future it will be, but we need your help by leaving reviews and telling your friends. And that might take a while for us to build this into something that could be more of a full-time gig. It is a full-time gig now, but it puts a pretty big strain on all of us to get this stuff done. And because of the nature of music production and podcast production, we need to take some time off to write a bunch more songs for you for season 2. So season 1 is going to go through September. So September 28th will be the last episode, regular episode of season 1. But don't worry, we're not going to leave you hanging. You're going to have weekly episodes of The Stride to keep you through the hiatus. And we're going to do a Halloween special, which will be a regular episode, and that will come out on October 26th.
It's not, Wade. The Halloween episode is a very special episode. It's not
Regular episode.
It's a regular type special episode.
It's fucking spooky.
Okay,
Yeah, just sit tight for the regular episode.
Yeah.
What the fuck kind of hype is that?
There's a ghost in my house, and it's spooky. And then November 16th, we're going to do a year in review episode where we talk about season 1, our journey. We're going to have guests on. Some of our biggest supporters are going to come on, talk with us about the season and the songs. And then in December 14th, we're going to come back for one final episode in 2020 to get you ready for season 2, which will start
we got to
the
check
first
in on
week
you.
In January.
You guys are pretty mature out there, but you're not mature enough to leave alone for an entire 3 months.
That's right.
We got to check in.
And during that time, we're going to be writing songs nonstop and recording episodes so we can get back at it for
We left Uncle Dave
$20,
$20, the keys to the time machine, and our number. I can't imagine that's going to go well, but if you need him, we'll put up his contact information online.
If you've seen him, put up his contact information online because we could use it.
Actually, let him know. I don't think that guy knows his phone number.
Right, I haven't seen him in a while. They didn't take to the dog tags
He's got that
too well.
big brick phone in the time machine that plugs into the lighter, but I haven't had the heart to tell him that stuff doesn't work anymore.
I did notice that him and Chuckers have been doing a little CB radio communication lately.
Yeah, he's got his whole ham radio setup up in the upstairs.
That's a big step up from the Canon string where they started.
Yeah. But at any rate, BSers, we're going to be with you through to the end of this month, and we're never going to really go away. But the episodes that you'll get during our hiatus will be a little shorter. So
you've still got a playlist to keep you company on Spotify. Right.
Check out our playlist. Patrick updates it every week. So each song from this season on their Spotify playlist, link in our show notes. Check us out on Instagram. We post stuff there sometimes. Brad, you posted your ingredient song coming soon.
I did.
There, and it was stuck in my head today. So I'm looking forward to getting a hold of that and mixing that. Check out our website, belongingsongs.com. There you can send us a message, hit up the forums page, or send us one directly to bs@belongingsongs.com. Anything else you guys want to say before we get out of here?
if you're from the MacArthur Genius Foundation, we could use one of those grants.
Yes. We're waiting on our grant money. We're waiting on all our advertisement. We'll probably be working on getting, advertising bucks as
Well, we got to
the
take a couple
hiatus
months
rolls
off
along.
and actually,
Yeah.
I just have to take a couple months off to get that stuff organized. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's coming in too fast.
Right. If you're a mattress company,
Yeah.
if you're Audible,
Right. One thing we will be working on, and have already started working on, that we will get done during the hiatus, is our Patreon page. So if you do want to support this show in the future, there will be an opportunity for you to do so. And things like that just help to ensure us to keep this thing going, keep this thing ticking, because we love to do it. And the goal is eventually to be able to just, roll on through, because we want to get you, our community, involved, sending us songs, taking some of the songwriting strain off of us by getting more of you involved. So anyway, for me, for Brad, for Patrick, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you here again next week.
Well,
I wasn't recording. Kidding.
you kidding me?
No, yeah.
I just pooped a little.
Yeah, it's good. Boom, done. Next.